welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Did Joker stat pad last night? That was a yes or a no when I posted on the community page. And boy, oh boy, the Joker fans came out full force. And I even got some Caitlyn Clark smoke in the midst of all that. Woo! Now, all I did was ask a question. I didn't see the game because I don't have NBA League Pass. I don't remember it being on in my area. But I do remember they were blowing the Hawks out. And I kind of looked at the play-by-play, and it said 2 minutes to go or 2 minutes into the second quarter, but I could have sworn don't the play-by-play go by the exact time that's on the scoreboard? But I thought it said with 2 minutes to go, they pulled him out of the game. Whatever the case is, I don't know. All I asked was Joker stat padding? That's all I was saying or asking, and these people came at me crazy. Called me all kind of names. Said I don't know this. It's becoming racist and all this stuff. And I think I made a video on Joker the other day too. And look, man, I have defended him, and I did give him criticism. Now, let me address the Caitlyn Clark stuff real quick, because she's not getting no love on this channel. But you don't see me criticizing her on a big level, right? So I basically just leave her alone. And what I can tell you is, okay, she's playing good in the WNBA, because this is some dude left a comment saying, oh, I haven't said nothing. I was giving smoke to Caitlyn Clark at the beginning of the year, and when the WNBA season started, and then she became a good player. Well, she was a bad player at the beginning of the year, so why not give her that smoke? But my thing isn't about her being a good player or a bad player. For all the pub she's getting, nothing counts unless she's winning championships, folks. That's all that counts. It's not stats. It's not stats. It's not stats. And she lost back-to-back championships in college, folks, with all the pubs she was getting. That's the only thing that counts is championships. So, to me, I don't care about her stats. Until she's able to put up championships in the WNBA, who cares? Who cares? You might care, but I don't care. And to me, I'm not a big WNBA person, but what I can tell you is I know some better names that played in the WNBA in the early 2000s and in the 2010s. I don't think they had the same level of competition in the WNBA in the 2020s. They just don't, folks. So, more power to her if she becomes a great player and puts up stats and wins awards. But to me, it all means nothing if she's not winning championships. This isn't the LeBron era unless you want her to be another LeBron, being the greatest based off of stats. It doesn't work like that. So let's talk about something we were already talking about this video. I've defended Joker, but at the same time, you got to give him criticism. Where the defense is, why are they wasting this guy's prime? He's 10 seasons into it. But let me say this first. I don't put him on a level of Kareem, Wilt, David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal. Some people can say Moses Malone. Some of these great, Bill Russell. Did I say Hakeem Olajuwon? I just can't. These guys came into the league with expectations. And not only came into the league with expectations, they fulfilled those expectations in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and on. Literally, we didn't start hearing nothing about Joker until when? I guess you could say the 2020 bubble, right? When did he come into the league? Wasn't it 14, 15? Nobody knew who Joker was. That's what I'm going to say about that. Next, again, this guy had a slow... What's up with these guys in this era slow starting? And then they're supposed to be these all-time great players. When their first 3-4 years, they did nothing, and nobody knew who they was. What about Anthony Edwards? What about Giannis? Now Joker. Luka didn't have a slow start. I had to go back and look at SGA. I don't know who this guy is. Like, when he first came into the league, And I'm not going to beat up on that per se too much, but I'm just saying when we talk about all-time greats, and there has been some guys who were supposed to be, that were highly touted and talked about, that came into the league and really ain't about nothing. A Joel Embiid, or hasn't lived up to expectations. Zion Williams. So I'm not trying to beat up on those guys like that because nobody knew who they were, but I'm just trying to say, when we talk about all-time greats, when I was growing up, these guys were already known coming out of college, playing against great competition, and then coming into the NBA, and they fulfilled those expectations in year 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about the Charles Barkleys, the Patrick Ewings, the Michael Jordans, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, the Wilt Chamberlains, these guys didn't come into the league and they was like, oh yeah, they just busted, or nobody knew nothing about them. No. Dominique Wilkins, these guys, man, if you was a top 5 pick, and a lot of times top 10 pick, most of these guys came in and did their thing. Right? Even though we beat up on LeBron James a lot, his second season, he was basically putting up 27, 7, and 7. And by those standards, back then, he had a good rookie season. So I'm just saying, man. So with Joker, this is what I hate about, some of these people trying to vouch for him, but he won't vouch for himself. This guy's a 3-time MVP, and when I say, was he stat padded in that blowout? And you guys might get mad and say, oh man, this and that and that and this. Seriously, he might be stat padded. Why? Because he might need to blow this thing out the water just to get this MVP, right? We know that he got slotted last year. He should have got the MVP. Let's be serious. I mean, there's no way this guy shouldn't have got the MVPs. With all his box metrics and, damn near triple, all this stuff, man. He should have got the MVP. But he got voter fatigue, all this stuff. Blanche blah. He's not missing games. He don't have another Hall of Fame teammate. You can't give it to Giannis. I'm sorry. I like Giannis. I don't think, now if he was putting up a Defensive Player of the Year season, I can see that. And maybe he might down the road. I don't know. But he's really not playing good defense. He's shooting horrible from the line. He's always going to shoot horrible from 3. But, man, at least make it respectable. So we can't give it to Giannis. And SGA, we'll see what happens. If they can find some way, because they're number 1 seed. This is what's going to hurt Joker, right? We done seen people put up crazy stats like Michael Jordan in the 88-89 season after he swept all the awards. The year before, Michael Jordan put up an incredible 32, 8, and 8. Basically 3 steals, I think it was like 2.9, 0.8 blocks, shot like, I think it was 52 or 53% from the field, and like 84, 85 from the free throw line. I mean, a season that LeBron would dream about. LeBron never even had that 32, 8, and 8. So when you guys say that Pippen saved Jordan, and Jordan could never play like LeBron. Jordan can play like how he wanted to play. But Jordan wanted to be known more for a score. That's what he wanted to be known for, and that's what he really had to be, because he didn't have that type of team. He didn't have it. He didn't have two Hall of Fame teammates in the early 90s or the late 80s or something like that. So like I was saying, if SGA can do something crazy like pull away in the West, I think that, if I'm not mistaken, they're number one. But if he can pull away by like 15, 20 games, maybe even 10, without Holmgren, what's his name, Cech, he's got a chance to win that, no doubt. You can't give it to Joker. If he pulls away and putting up great stats, it ain't got to be Joker stats. If he can pull away with great stats and have a 10-game lead at the end of the season in the West in first place, 15 games, whatever, and no Chet Holmgren, or he did most of it without him, and he has no Hall of Fame teammate, you got to give it to SGA. Joker can't, he won't be able to win it, especially if he's down there out the top five. He can't. It's got to come to a point to where he's got to be a leader. As far as, stats don't make you a leader. Ask LeBron James. Now, am I saying he's like on LeBron James' level as a leader? No, I'm not trying to say that. But I'm just saying you're going to have to put your stats aside. And to me, why not put up 35 points per game in this off week era? Because nobody's going to be able to stop him, right? Because you see what happens. Everybody just bounces off a Joker. And he's got really good hands around the rim. Put him more on the block and let him get more touches to score 35 a game and maybe get you 13 rebounds. Bring your assists down to maybe 5, 6, whatever. And that'll be letting somebody else run the offense. And they kick it down to you more often, and they try to double you, get W. Still sounds like the letter W. Double you. I'm not doing that again. You know what I mean. Then you can just kick it out to your three-point shooters. That's what he really needs to do. Because the whole triple-double thing right now, he's making it look too easy. And they might think he's stat padded over winning. Instead of playing like a traditional center, like, Embiid, like, I mean, they're not traditional, but I'm just saying, the guys that try to play like a traditional center in this league, like Embiid and Anthony Davis, and of course we won't say Wemby. Nobody, they need to go get a center, because Wemby ain't a center. He don't want to play center. He don't know what a center is. So they need to go get a center and let him sit out there like Steph Curry, I guess. And all that's going to come to a head soon, because I tell you, Wemby won't last no more than about 3-5 years max. If they keep playing like this, I really don't know. Like, does he think he's like 6'3" or something? He can't keep running like that at 7'4". So he's gonna be gone. Joker, he could play for 22 seasons if he wants. Especially the league keeps getting weaker and weaker. So I don't know. But on the other hand, where I got to give this guy criticism, because I was giving him praise, saying like this guy's unstoppable in this era, and that he should have won 4 MVPs already. Imagine if LeBron really put up the numbers that Joker was putting up. I mean, they talk about LeBron like he's putting up the numbers that Joker is putting up. And Joker beat him and AD 2 years in a row. In 4 games, they only won 1. I mean, that's horrible, folks. Imagine if that was Michael Jordan at 38, 39, and 39-40. If that happened to Michael Jordan. Well, what was it? No, it'll be 37-38 and 38-39. They would never stop. At least Larry Bird had a slew of guys. Parrish, McHale. Man, those teams were loaded. It was 4 top 75 players and 1 Hall of Fame player on that one team, literally against Michael Jordan. He didn't have no Anthony Davis and D'Angelo, what's his name? Russell, all these other dudes. LeBron done had the past 2 years get beat by Joker. So the guy needs some help. Get the guy some help. I don't understand. No, he's the only guy, and we can't defend Murray no more. It's getting old. He's out of games. You can only defend this guy for so long, to where he has nothing to show for his career. I mean, give me one All-Star appearance. What? Come on, man. You can't come into this season. Why are you taking all this money? And it's what I don't get about the NBA. You're making fans walk away because of this. It's just crazy. Like this Mets player, what's his name? Juan Carlos or something. He just got the biggest deal in MLB history. And like I tell you guys, I don't believe these NBA players are making this kind of money. I just think the organizations do this so they can raise the prices of merch and popcorn and tickets and everything else. Watch these guys retire and have to go work when they retire. Watch them at the podcast. Watch them have to read from a teleprompter. Watch them have to DJ. I mean, really? You just made tens of millions and hundreds of millions in perk talking about, man, ain't nobody going to take my job. I got to say what I got to say. Bro, you just literally made almost $100 million in your career and nobody's going to take your ESPN job away? How much more can they be paying you to put on your clown makeup and sound like an idiot? You're not even a good analyst. I said, these guys ain't making this money, we've been told. No. And now, is baseball, really? No, nobody watches baseball. Who the hell watches baseball? New York and the Dodgers, or the Yankees and the Dodgers just played in the World Series. Nobody even knew. Nobody even talked about it, folks. It came and went so fast. And I keep trying to tell you, I grew up watching baseball. I will not... Watching baseball and playing baseball, I will not support this foreign game. A game that threw all the black players out and act like, oh, well, black people just don't want to play baseball no more. It's, they want to play other sports. So you're trying to tell me that on offense, you sit the hell down on a bench. On defense, you stand around the field. And I don't want to make millions of dollars doing this. How dumb does that sound? White people had an 80-year head start in the MLB, and black people still own half the records to this day. That's how great they was. How great were they? They begged the black players to come from the Negro leagues and come into the major leagues. Because the running, the hitting, the swag, everything. Now, am I going to say black players were completely better than the white players? No. I think they both held up the MLB for decades. Both of them. And even when we start getting Latino players, it was all good too. It was you had something of everything. But when they start put all the Latino black players out for the Latino players for cheap labor, we know that the farm teams. AAA, AA, you got to pay American players $1 million. So you make a Caribbean farm league, and you're only paying them $50,000, $25,000, maybe $100,000. That's good money for them. But we won't keep going on and on. We know what America does in the United States. They don't care about Americans. But to me, they did keep a handful of white players, so it wouldn't look totally racist. But to me, if they had any brains, they would have kept the black players with the Latino players. You would have had a super league, you stupid idiots. You stupid idiots. It's funny because they did the same thing in basketball, like in reverse, right? They start putting out all the white American players. And eventually, they start putting out the black players in the NBA. For the international black players. Same thing in baseball. They kept the white players, but eventually they start putting them out too for the Latino players. So folks, it ain't got nothing to do with who can play better. It's about cheap labor. It's not about in the blue collar industry today. They will tell you about how all these people with no muscle, no cut on their arm, 5'1", 5'2", are better workers than Americans. It's the silliest stuff you ever heard. Okay, so why aren't you paying them good money? If they're these better workers, how come you're screwing them over and paying them cheap labor? It's all lie, folks. So, Joker. I don't care if this guy loses the rest of his damn career. If he's not going to speak up at the trade deadline, if he's not going to speak up at all and say, get Murray the hell away from me. If Porter Jr. can't stay consistent, get him the hell away from me. I need a primetime player. I need a Hall of Fame teammate so we can rock this. But I think for Joker, is he willing for his stats to go down? That's the question. Because do we really think he's going to be getting the same stats? For you to win, your stats are going to have to go down. Michael Jordan's stats went down. Wilt's stats went down. Bill Russell didn't even care too much about having all these stats. He just cared about winning. That's why some people can put him as the GOAT. Because he probably could have averaged 25 points a game. Am I saying he was a great shooter, but he could have still. But he focused on other things. For Joker, is he willing for his stats to go down a little bit so he can win? Wade's stats went down. Bosh's stats went down. LeBron's stats should have went down too in Miami. I mean, those guys sacrificed a lot for LeBron to keep his 27, 7, and 7. While they were pretty much, doing all the defending, hitting clutch shots, hitting their free throws, all this stuff so LeBron could win. Now, I don't think Joker needs 2 Hall of Fame teammates. I don't think he needs that. But if the guy don't open his mouth, I don't want to hear nothing else from these people out here making videos talking about the organization. Because throughout history, star players eventually got another star player teammate. Kobe Bryant finally got one, and he socked that ish up like a biscuit. Went to 3 straight finals and won back-to-back. You can have the stats, LeBron fans. It was over. Your GOAT case was over. And he beat LeBron's opponents that beat LeBron while LeBron had the number 1 seed. I don't see how these guys could ever go back and try to live that down. We don't care that you was young or you wasn't even existed back then. Folks, that's what happened. Kobe won back-to-back without a top 75 teammate out of the West against LeBron's opponents that beat him as LeBron was the number 1 seed in the back-to-back MVP. And then went and joined a super team because they were scared Kobe was going to go back to the finals. How are they going to explain that? Oh, yeah, you know how to do it, right? Brother, if they would have met in the finals, the Lakers and the Heat, this will be the spin. This is Kobe's 4th straight time in the finals. Who can stop this guy? This guy's unstoppable. He just won back-to-back. LeBron had no help. Even though he had the number 1 seed in the whole entire NBA. Not just the East, the entire NBA. And his team was top 5 in offense and defense in the entire NBA. But they will spin it and say he needs some help. And the only way he can meet up with Kobe in the finals was to build this super team. And Kobe was taking over the NBA. It was a good thing because Wade needed this. Bosh needed this. Kobe's just that good. And if he would have won and beat the Heat, because Dirk did it, they would have said, see, told you. If he would have lost to the Heat, they would have still said, see, told you. That's the help he needed. LeBron fans, it was over then. It was over then. And we talked about this before. Joker is ahead of LeBron. In my eyes, Joker won a championship with no Hall of Fame teammate, no All-NBA teammate, no All-NBA defensive teammate, nothing. No All-Star teammate, no Hall of Fame, nothing. LeBron never won one championship as a number one, period. As a number, what's the number one, folks? When you lead a team to a championship without somebody else's number one franchise player. So he only won championships with other number ones. So he was part of other number ones that led the team to a championship. Hell, I think Giannis did that too, right? A few players did that. Most players did that. Don't give me about, oh, yeah, Hall of Fame. Joker's a better player. That's all I'm saying. This guy about to win 4 MVPs in 5 seasons with no help. LeBron won 2 MVPs with a super team. I don't see no Joker winning no MVPs with a super team. And he's winning it in the West. You ever seen LeBron win an MVP in the West? Going against some of the best competition every single night? I know the East done got stronger, the past few years, but still some pretty good competition in the West. Yeah, so you guys tell me what you think, man. It is, I don't know what to think out here, man. I just don't want Joker fans to beat me up. I'm not against them, but I'm just saying, man. I mean, this guy just don't want to go down as putting up stats. He has no statistical titles at all in a soft, weak era. That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't it just be better if he went to go get to 35 and maybe 13 a night, put his assists down to like 5 or 6 or whatever like that, boom, bam, bam. Now you're getting statistical titles. You're playing a little bit more defense, maybe as a center, average 1 damn block a game. I mean, I don't know, folks. I'm just trying to throw some things out there. We're not saying he's not the greatest player in the 2020s, and to me, he don't pass LeBron James. I don't know what else. You guys tell me what you think. At least he's got the 1 championship, but you don't want to see him waste his prime like this, man. This is crazy. You need to speak up and get him a trade or get the hell out of there. 1, you want to be just remembered for stats and MVPs, no statistical titles, 1 championship. Come on, man. Get it popping, Joker. Wake up, open your mouth, and do what you got to do. Tell me what you think.